and welcome to Tuesdays at 2. I'm Janet Prey, and I'm here with Brenda Rogerson. You won't see Brenda, she's on the other side of the camera, but she's here. Um, and we're excited to be back. We had to miss last month because I had to have some pretty serious back surgery, and I really can't tell you how special it was to get all of your emails and comments and well wishes, and I do so much appreciate that. Uh, I had back trouble for quite a few years, and we tried a lot of different things, and finally discovered that I have a had a herniated disc, and they had to take it out. So I had surgery on the lower part of my spine where they removed what's called the L5, replaced it with a spacer. And in a few months, I should be good as new. I feel pretty good now, but I'm still, I still have some swelling and some pain. You turn that light on.
Yes.
And so I have to take it easy. The first week I came back to work, I thought, well, I'll just sit here for an hour because the doctor said I could sit there for an hour. And 3 hours later, I realized that I'd stay too long and then I was very uncomfortable. So I have to be really careful. So 1 to 2 hours at a time for the next month or two. And then we'll see what the doctor says. But thank you again. I'm feeling great and I'm so excited because for 6 years I've been in pain no matter what I did. Standing at the drafting board, sitting at my computer, sewing at the sewing machine. It just hurt all the time. So I am so grateful to be on the other side of that. I know that many of you noticed in last week's newsletter, as well as this week's, that we recently lost a fabulous contributor to our home sewing industry, Connie Amadan Crawford. A lot of people just knew her as Connie Crawford, but Connie is the one who wrote so many of the fabulous books that we sell, including the pattern drafting book. And one of her biggest claims to fame was while working not only at the university, FITM in Southern California, teaching pattern drafting and grading, she was also working at a retail house and or a ready to wear house. And she learned an awful lot from the ready to wear end to add to the home sewing that we had not known prior to kind of getting involved in that. But one of the big takeaways was the grading for plus size garments and patterns. So they do the same thing in ready to wear as they do in patterns. And that is they continue to use the same grading system. So there's a grading system to take something from a 6 to an 8, from an 8 to a 10. And each time the shoulders grow just a tiny little bit, the arm side gets just a little bit bigger. Everything just grows very slowly. But when you get to the plus size, those shoulder seams just keep growing because if you stayed with the same system. So pretty soon, those of you who wear plus size might recognize that your shoulder seam ends up somewhere near your elbow because they just kept growing that shoulder seam. So Connie realized what that error did and how it impacted plus size people because their garments just didn't look proper. They didn't hang proper. But what choice did you have, right? So Connie realized that. She came up with a much better grading system and used it in a ready to wear company that she was working for, as well as added it to her teaching and her created the grading book. So we are all so grateful for her to find that issue and to fix it for us. So a lot of people have been very grateful that Connie did that. But when I spoke briefly at Connie's memorial last Saturday by way of Zoom, and one of the things I noted was I was doing putting on an expo at the time, and I was told of this lady who did plus size patterns, and that she had this special grading system, and that she had this selection of plus size patterns, and she was coming to the expo. So I was really excited to meet her. But when I met her, and she was probably a size 12, 10, 12, a little bit taller than me, I was expecting a plus size lady. And Connie was never plus size. So I think it's even extra special that she recognized a need that she didn't even have, but a need some others had and fixed it for them. So we loved that about Connie. And she went on to do so much more after that. But we're just really grateful that we're able to carry on some of her work, including her pant drafting, her grading, her tailoring jackets, and all of her sloper patterns that we are now using to help people learn how to work with slopers. So I think that it's just been a real pleasure to have her as a mentor, and I'm very grateful. And I just wanted to say that out loud. Anyway, Wired for Style.
Trouble hearing.
Is it on?
Yes. Screen.
All right. I understand there's a sound issue, which I'm right on top of the microphone, so I don't know why. Tell me if this is better.
I don't have any responses yet. I don't know if that dial doesn't seem to do anything, but
Is it not better?
I haven't had any responses yet.
Mm.
Yes, that's better. Somebody says. Okay, let's try that.
All right. Be sure to let us know if we need to adjust it again. All right.
Okay.
So we have set up another session of the Wired for Style, and that is the tunic with the wired collar. And I know you've seen it. If not, you can just slide back to one or two of our Facebook posts and you're going to see examples of that. It's a great class to take because not only you're going to come out with a really cute and on trend tunic for this spring, you are going to have the opportunity to learn how easy it is to make some simple changes to create your own collar shape and how to create flounces. And we do several different ones. This is a very basic one, and this is not the tunic, but this is one of the things that we teach in that class, and that is how to make a flounce. And some of the flounces are very flouncy, they're very ruffly, and some are very smooth. So you have lots of options in that class. We're also going to change the shape of a shirt pattern to make it into a tunic. So some of the little things that I built into this class is kind of the beginning steps on learning how to not have to buy 5711 patterns, but to take some very basic patterns and you can make the changes. And then maybe you'll get brave enough to bounce right into the sloper. And when you do the sloper, that's what the sloper is all about. So the sloper is all about the basic part of the body. So it's the bodice. And once we get that all lined up and the darts in the right place and the waist in the right area, everything shaped, then we can just add sleeves, add collars, make it longer, make it shorter, make it fit closer, turn it into an A line. All those things can be done without having to take a 2-year drafting course. Because once you get that sloper to fit, it's just adding pieces to it. So, anyway, if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for the next sloper class. We've got a really good one coming up. All right. So, but before you make a sloper or before you make another garment, let's talk about how well your bra is fitting. And do you really know how a bra is supposed to fit or what size you really wear? Statistics say What percentage is it, Brenda? Do you remember that people that have the wrong size bra? It's a
percent.
what?
I think it's at least 70%.
Yeah, something like 70% are wearing the wrong size bra. So, and we go to the store. Let's say we go to a store like Kohl's or Penny's or Macy's, and you go in the rack and you pick several, and you go in the dressing room and you try them on, and you hope you're picking the one that's not only going to look good, but it's going to feel good. You're not going to want to get it off the second hour you've got it on. And that's the way most women buy bras. And there's a few things that you should know, and then I'm going to give you a tip about buying your bra. So, first of all, and I know some of these things seem very rudimentary, but trust me, as we go on, you're going to see for a lot of people they're not. So, first of all, wearing a bra, your entire bust should fit inside the bra cup or the area for the cup. So, this is a sports bra, but you can see she's not spilling out anywhere and she's completely supported. So her apex line would be right across here. Here is an underwire bra that exposes a little bit more of the breast on purpose because this is one where cleavage might want to be shown. Okay, but again, look where the apex or the bust point is. Notice how close it is to the arm side. Okay, but here's what we find with a lot of women, especially over a certain age. They go in the dressing room, they find a bra that's comfortable, and they buy it. Well, I'm sure this one was comfortable because it doesn't fit at all. The straps are so much slack you could put 2 or 3 fingers behind there. That's not supporting much. You can see here where her breast is just laying against her skin. It is not being lifted or supported, making her apex somewhere to appear when she has clothes on way down here, much closer to her elbow, much closer to her elbow here than her arm side. So the problem here is, and you may have already figured this out, this part of the bra is supposed to be up here closer to the bottom area of the breast. These straps should be much shorter. All this bra is doing for this person right now is shielding the nipple. So she's covering her nipple so she doesn't embarrass herself, but otherwise it's doing nothing. So there's the problem. It should be up this much of a distance. That looks to me like 2 or 3 inches. 2 or 3 inches. Now, when you sew and you make patterns, there's a place where they expect the bust point to be. And how are you identifying when you sew that you're getting your bust point in the right place? And trust me, you do not want your bust point this low. It's not the best look. And we're going to go into that in a few minutes. All right, here's a bra, and I see a lot of ladies that I help fit wear their bras like this. And again, it's doing absolutely nothing but shielding the nipple. This part is way too low. Her breast point should be up here, and it's down here. Again, another 1.5 to 2 inches too low. And it throws the whole silhouette off because in a woman's body, we're expecting bust, and then a certain distance to the waist, and then curving back out and a certain distance to the hip. If the distance from the bust to the waist is only a couple of inches, it is going to throw that whole proportion, the beautiful shape of the woman's body. And believe me, you still have a beautiful shape no matter how far past retirement age you are. And you don't have to be uncomfortable to look your very best and have the best silhouette. So if you got the newsletter today, you got all this formula and exactly how to measure if you're going to fit yourself in a bra. You're going to measure the fullest part of the bust. And you're going to measure this area where the band goes. But again, remember, that band goes up here, not down here, like we saw in some of those other examples. So make sure you're wearing a bra that is not padded. That's very key. And one that is sitting up where it's supposed to be. All right, so we need this measurement and this measurement. Now we're going to subtract this measurement from this one. And the number of inches tells us what size cup. So if there's only 1 inch difference, if this is 36 and this is 37, it's an A cup. And if this is 36, she wears a 36A. Okay? And if it's 2 inches, this is 36 and this is 38. Now she wears a 36B because 2 inches equals a B, and so on. So this is the measurement when they say, what size bra do you wear? I wear a 36D. That means 36 here, and that means for a D cup, you're 4 inches bigger in the bust than you are in this undercarriage area. Okay? This is the general rule. Now, with so many different manufacturers of bras, just like with clothing and anything else, you could put on somebody's 36G and it's way too big, and then another manufacturer's and it's just the right size. So you still have to try on multiple bras to get the very best look. I'll tell you one little tip that I always did with my daughters when I took them bra shopping. They wore a t-shirt. I would have them try the bra on and then put the t-shirt on over it. That's when you know if it's the most pleasing look for your breasts. Some bras separate so much in the middle that your breasts, one's going east and the other one's going west. Not the best look. You want them going straight in. So you want to look for those things. So it's really a good idea to wear a nice knit garment that you could put on over the bra, and you can really see if that bra is giving you the best look that you need. All right, so for just a second, were there any questions so far?
No.
Feel free to just throw your questions up there, and when you get a chance, we'll stop. So here's a diagram that kind of talks about the different shapes of women. And in this particular area, after we have our bra fitting well, you know what? I skipped a spot on the bra, I think. So one more thing about bras, shopping for bras. And you'll see it in the article as well. If you have never been to a specialty bra store, go. You will be so grateful you did. I went about 10 or 15 years ago. Someone recommended it. Now I'm talking about not Victoria's Secret. I'm talking about a store that sells almost exclusively bras. That's their specialty. The women that work in that store can fit you like a glove, literally. They put you in the bra. You feel like you've got a nurse instead of a sales clerk. She's hooking you up and getting everything lined up inside the bra and everything, which was a little surprising, but I learned something that she taught me from that as well. Go to one of those stores. You don't have to go to that store every time you need a bra. Once you've learned what they have to educate you with, and you get a bra or two that you really like, then you can just purchase the bras from any store or even online. But I highly recommend. It was a very eye-opening experience. I learned a lot. So when we make a pattern, again, we want to look the most feminine and natural in our shape as possible. And there are a lot of different shapes that we come in. And there are a lot of different shapes of garments. Some of them are going to look better on your shape than others. And if you haven't identified that yet, kind of time to look at that. So this is the A line. And one of the things I found when I was preparing for this, today's Tuesdays at 2, was that most people don't know what that means. Because I did a Google search for A-line dresses to find some examples. And most of them were ball gowns, almost no A-lines. I was shocked. I was always shocked that they were not showing very many A-lines, but they would show a ball gown and call it A-line. I have no idea what the thinking is there. But the reason that a dress or a skirt is called an A-line is simply because it's narrower at the top and wider at the bottom, but not significantly. Not enough to make it ruffle and gather, but just enough. If you as a child of the 60s, I made a lot of what were called shifts. And they were made just like this. Sometimes they'd have a sheath dart in them and in the back. But it was basically, this was it. And that was the big thing in the 60s. And as a sewer, those were easy to make, and I made a lot of them. So I really expanded my wardrobe. But these are A-lines that have a princess seam in them that helps flatter your figure just a little bit more. But an A-line can cover up a multitude of sins, especially the ones that are found right in here, as long as it skims the body and doesn't come in too close. So considering that if you are an apple body or an O shape like I am, these can work out really well. So I don't have a small waist, so this doesn't really tightly identify the waist, but it does intimate that I have one. So I always liked this silhouette for my type of body. Now, I also really enjoy shirtwaist dresses. Let me explain what a shirtwaist dress is, because that has become a mistake over the years too. A shirtwaist dress is exactly what it says. It's a shirt to the waist. So it's a shirt shape or fits like a shirt to the waist, and then it's got a full skirt on it. Now that full skirt might be really full like it was in the 50s and the 60s, mostly the 50s maybe. Or here's a modern shirtwaist dress. And these are both current. This is a Ralph Lauren. This would look great on you, Brenda. You need to check this one out. It's a little pricey, but it's cute because it's got this really nice, I think, embroidery on one sleeve. It's a beautiful blue and white stripe. Anyways, Ralph Lauren. I think I saw that at Macy's. Here's a shirt waist dress that's an evening wear. So you can take that shirt waist look. And for anyone who has a little waist, but maybe has a larger hip area than they like to show off, this fuller skirts, even some of these, will camouflage that. And now you get to show off your nice tiny little waist, and you have that wonderful silhouette of a female figure. So this might be a silhouette that you want to look into, but these have been around since the 30s, and it keeps reinventing itself every decade. You know, it's longer, and now we do more asymmetrical. But again, you can go from day wear into evening wear. So that's a fun dress. If somebody says shirt dress, a shirt dress is a shirt all the way to the hem. So if you have a shirt pattern you like, you can just lengthen it, making sure it's going to go over your hips. And you can give it a straight hem or a shirt tail hem. That's a shirt dress. This is shirt waist. Donna Reed used to wear those every day with her pearls and her heels to clean the house and pick the kids up. Yeah. But anyway, so that's the shirt waist of it all. And another reason I want to impress these different is because they're being lost. I'm shocked at go ahead and hit Google and hit A-line and see what you find, but you're going to see everything and very few A-line. Ball gown was a mess too, all over the place, from A-line to actual real ball gown. So a ball gown is very similar in the fact that it fits to the waist. It fits at the waist. And most of the time the bodice fits close to the body. But in a ball gown, the skirt is voluminous. So there's a lot more fabric in a ball gown. So this is going to be a very large gathered skirt. Where in the shirt waist, it isn't always as full. But a ball gown is often a design that's used in wedding dresses. It's flattering on a lot of different figures, and that's one of the reasons. You can pull it in and have a nice little waist, and then nobody knows what's underneath that big ball gown. So you can camouflage some figure flaws. So that is what a real ball gown, and you don't have to go to a ball to wear a ball gown. A lot of prom dresses are ball gowns as well. So again, I want to reiterate the fact that we want to maintain that female silhouette. So when we are making our sloper, if you're going to sign up for one of the next sloper classes, be sure to get your bra fitted properly. Because you're going to make that sloper, and that sloper is going to be the basis of all the garments that you're going to make. And if you could get that apex line in exactly the right spot on that sloper, it's always going to look good no matter what you make from that sloper. So real key for those of you who are going to sign up for the next sloper class. All right, let me see if there's any questions, Brenda.
No questions, just amazing explanation.
Oh, I like that. I like being amazing. Yeah, so, and again, if you are taking a basic garment, go ahead, Brenda. Oh, and you're going to identify where the bust point is on that. Oh, I got a garbage here. So you'll pull out your pattern pieces and you'll identify where that bust point is, where that waist is, and where the hip is on the tissue, and then on you. Do you need to change these proportions? Some of us are very long waisted. So you might need to split this and give it another half inch or an inch to make sure that the waistline hits in the right place as well as the bust. Or the reverse. You might need to shorten it if you're a shorter person. But we really want to keep a nice shape going between the bust, the waist, and the hip whenever we can. So wearing your bra where it belongs will help a lot. I had an aunt once and I recommended, and she was quite older, and I said, you know, why don't we go to the store? We could get some new bras, you know? And she said, well, I don't need a new bra. I said, but Auntie, your breasts are so low. And she says, oh, they've always been down there. And I didn't argue with her anymore, but nobody's breasts come out just above your navel. They're always up here. So look for the distance between the arm side and the elbow. If your apex is closer to your elbow than your arm side, you need to get that bra, a new bra fitting, or tighten up those straps. I'm not sure exactly what, or go to that specialty store, because what an experience that will change your experience a lot. Okay.
Two questions. Tina asks, what about the double lettered bra sizes like DD? What does that mean?
Oh, that's a good question. And I cannot tell you exactly what a bra specialist could, but what I think it is, it's that extra half inch. because we're working in whole numbers here. So if you were for the D 4 inches, what if you were 4.5 inches different? I think that might be, but I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. So I would definitely look that up because some of these go into like triples as well. And I know what it means. It means you're really small here and you're really large here. Uh, but what the numbers are, I don't. I don't know. Sorry.
Um, let's see. Does the two questions?
Okay.
Does every city have a specialty bra store, and how do you find a shop?
So the question is, does every city have a specialty bra store and how do you find them? Well, the same way you find just about anything in 2026. Google it. So you're going to Google bra store near me. And if it comes up with 0 results, then you might need to go a little farther out. So let's say you live in Wichita, then you would put bra store near Wichita, Kansas. So maybe you have to drive 30 or 40 miles or 50 miles to get to it, but it'll be worth it. So that would be, I don't know of like a specific chain store name that you could Google it, Acme Bra specialty. I don't know that one. I don't, I know that I live in the Detroit area of Michigan, and the one I went to was in Birmingham, Michigan. And you're going to find them in higher end neighborhoods as well. So that might be another tip to look for.
Someone
Okay,
said
another question.
someone said Von Mar will do it.
Who is it?
Von Mar.
Von Mar?
Yeah, they're around here, and
Von Mar,
it's a
VON.
department
And what do they sell at Von Mar?
clothing.
Just all kinds of clothing.
Yes,
Okay, so
kind of
if
like
you can't find the specialty store, then some of the department stores like Nordstrom's, Macy's, Von Mar, they may have someone who's been trained and will measure you and help you get fitted in a bra. That's the next best thing to the specialty store. The reason I like the specialty store, because I had done both, they just had, that was their thing. That's what they specialized in. That was it, bras. So they really had the biggest selection and the most amount of experience and knowledge. Okay. Anything else, Brent?
no.
Okay. Well, let me think. Recently I got a very interesting email. It's from Aline Young, and she was saying that she saw a pattern in a magazine. She saw the pattern cover and she thought, oh, that's really cute. And it was an illustration. And she thought, oh, I might buy that. And I'm kind of paraphrasing here. But then when she went on to look and took the advice that we had given one time, or maybe more than once, Brenda and I really live by this. See the pattern on a human being, not just a sketch. Because a sketch could be anybody's imagination. It doesn't mean that it's real. But if it's on a human being, then you can really see what the design is all about. And so when she saw the design on the human being and she showed me the picture, it was like, there's no way I'm buying that pattern. I don't like the way it looks at all on the person. But the sketch made it look far cuter and more interesting. So Aline said, thanks again for the great advice. So from Aline and me, I'm going to pass that on to everybody else. You're much better off if you can find even if the pattern cover doesn't have a person in it, sometimes someone's posted a picture on that website wearing the garment. those kind of things can be very telling as to whether it's going to be something that you like and is worth putting your time into. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that came up. I don't think so. Um, I did talk about Wired for Style. Did I get completely through that? Okay. I really, really highly encourage those of you. You have till May 31st. And what we do is we give you the links to all the lessons right away so that you could go any time of the day or night between now and May 31st to take your lessons. So you've got plenty of time to review them, go back over them. If life gets in the way, it's okay because you'll be able to pick it back up. But it's going to give you some really great key information that you probably don't already have. So, and you can read the description about it in last week's newsletter as well as on the website under special event. All right. Well, Brenda says that's all we have for today. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be feeling better, and I'm so grateful for all of your well wishes. Thank you for that. And we'll be back next month on the first Tuesday for Tuesdays at 2. And we hope to see you then. This is Janet Prey for Islander Sewing Systems and Brenda Rogerson. Email us if you have any questions that we can help you with. Thanks so much and happy sewing.
Oh, wait a minute, and hang on, you're still